Improving your English doesn't have to be a full-time job. Keep watching this short video for 5 simple steps you can take to improve your pronunciation today. Okay, number 1, I call this the 3 easy tips because it is simple but powerful. So this will help you dramatically improve your spoken English very, very quickly. And I love when my students apply this right away and they come back and they're like, oh my gosh, really that does make the biggest difference. It really will clear up, I usually say about 80% of your pronunciation errors and mistakes that you're making right now. Just applying these 3 tips. Okay, so what are they? Slow down, move your mouth, and speak up or speak louder. Okay, so the first one, slow down. Okay, you have to slow down your spoken English. This is something that is very uncomfortable for most of my students. They're used to speaking fast. They speak fast in their native language, and so they speak fast in English. But when you're training your mouth to move in a new way, when you're trying to get that clear pronunciation in American English, you have to slow down. Your mouth is not ready to go at the same speed that you do as your native language. You have to slow it down. Give your mouth and mind time to really be able to formulate the words, figure out what you're going to say and how you're going to say it. Give your mouth time for that. Give your mind time for that. Just slowing down makes a huge difference in being able to speak that clear and confident American English. Okay, the next one, move your mouth. Okay, English requires a lot of movement in the mouth. You have to make bigger movements. A lot of my students, their mouth is really tight and closed, and they're not making a lot of movement there. And I always encourage, okay, let's really stretch out that mouth. Let's get your mouth really open and wide. And think of it as, say, a trumpet. So say you're playing a trumpet, but then you muffle where the sound comes out. You put like a sock in there. It's going to come out really muffled. It's going to be unclear. And when you take that sock out, you're going to get a nice, loud, clear sound. When you open your mouth, you're going to create that bigger sound, that clearer sound. The next of the 3 easy tips is speak louder. Now, it's very, very natural to start speaking quieter when you're not sure about your pronunciation. So say you come across a word and you're like, I'm not sure if I'm saying this right. If I just say it quieter, nobody will notice that I said that incorrectly. This is the exact opposite that we need. Say it loud, say it clear. Yeah, you may be making a mistake, but let's not add a mistake and speaking quietly on top of it. That will make it twice as hard for your listener to understand. Say it loud. Yeah, it takes a lot of confidence to say a word that you're not sure of, nice and loud, but it will make a big difference. 3 easy tips: slow down, move your mouth, and speak up. Speak louder. Okay, the second tip I have for you today to improve your spoken English is read out loud every single day. I always say just 2 minutes. Everyone has 2 minutes. So if you just start with a 2-minute a day habit or practice, to read out loud. You can take anything that you are currently reading, something that comes up on your phone, a book you're reading, anything, it doesn't matter. But as you're reading, I want you to really focus on slowing down, moving your mouth, and speaking up. Just that technique is going to help you improve. So as you get that daily practice, you're going to be training your mouth and mind to move in a new way, a more deliberate way. Okay, number 3 is learn the rules of American English. Okay, there are many rules of American English that a lot of native speakers don't even know exist. They just do them. But there is a pattern. There are rules that we're following that make us sound the way that we do. So let's go through a few little rules to give you a taste of this. So the tapped T rule, or the flapped T, as many call it, is this. So the rule is when a T is surrounded by vowels, native English speakers pronounce it as a D. So for example, water is not water, it's water, water. Okay, so that T is surrounded by vowels. So we reduce it to more of a D pronunciation. Water, okay? Same with butter or pretty, okay? Those words, that T has been reduced to that D sound to create that rule, I guess. A T surrounded by vowels creates that D pronunciation. Okay, here's another rule for you. So when it comes to word stress, so the stress or emphasis of a specific word in English, and there's always one syllable that's stressed or emphasized more than the others in American English. So how do we know which one is stressed or emphasized? Let's take some what we call heteronym words. They're words that spelled the same but pronounced different, and that pronunciation is different because of the word stress. So here's the rule that come along with heteronym words. In two-syllable words, when it's a noun, we stress the first syllable. When it's a verb, we stress the second syllable. Okay, so let's take the word address. Okay, give me your address so that I can come pick you up. Address. I'm going to address the audience. Address, address. So address, address. Okay, so one is first syllable stress and one is second syllable stress. Another example is conflict. Conflict, the noun, conflict versus conflict. Conflict, conflict, conflict. Okay, two different pronunciations based on this rule of noun and verb. Okay, contest, contest. Contest, contest. Do you hear that difference in the word stress? So as you learn these rules of American English, you'll be able to understand, okay, there's a pattern happening here. And English is going to follow these rules about 80% of the time, unfortunately. So there is that 20% that's going to be the exception to the rule. But as you understand that 80%, it's going to give you much more confidence in the way that you're pronouncing American English words, so that you can know, okay, for the most part, I'm getting 80% correct, and then I'm going to start learning these exceptions or be able to recognize these exceptions when I find them. All right, the fourth step is to retrain the way you hear American English. Now, we do this in my program through listening exercises and minimal pairs, but essentially what you need to understand is you need to understand that your accent is created because you're saying the sounds and rhythm of your first language while speaking English. So you need to understand, like, what errors am I making that I'm saying incorrectly that is different from a native speaker. As you understand that more, you're going to be able to get that awareness that then will lead you to the next step, which is number 5, retrain your mouth, okay? So once you hear the difference, you have to be able to say it different in your mouth. So you have to retrain your mouth to move in a new way, okay? This is developing a habit. And the more you do it and get that repetition, the easier it will be for you to be able to speak with these new sounds and this new rhythm that sounds more like a native English speaker. So as you consistently do these 5 steps, you will improve your English pronunciation. It's a fact. It's a scientific method. It's not a quick and easy process, though. It takes time and it takes effort, but the reward is absolutely incredible. The opportunities that will open up for you will be well worth the time that you spend working on your English pronunciation. If you want to dive deeper into some of these rules of pronunciation, the next video I am going to teach you about some of the vowels of American English and how to hear the difference.